Good afternoon, traders. It is Tuesday, August 11th, 2020, and the U.S. stock market is closed. We had an absolutely horrible day today. This is not the video I want to make, but I do them whether we do good or we do bad, and I do it with the idea that I'm giving you a real truthful idea of what trading for a living is really like, and we have great days. We have days that you just want to die. They're so bad, and that's kind of the way today is. Um, you can look at the Dow pattern here and start to see where our problems arose. The Dow gapped up this morning big time. Um, just looked fabulous on the charts. It was it was up over 300 points up here. It was up like that most of the day, and then crashes the last 90 minutes of the day and finishes down 105 points. Um, the and as you know, this is our deadliest pattern because the up move here gets us into things that then all go negative as this thing sells off, and that was partly uh, part of our problems today. We had other problems also, but bad pattern with the Dow. We had $30,000 plus in open trade on the close yesterday. If you saw my video, you'll know that's where we were at. And after the close on yesterday, I was really excited because in the aftermarket, things started getting a lot better than that, even that $30,000. Uh, all the stocks got better and improved, but one of those stocks we had was EQ, and the pronunciation Eolium, I think, is the name of the company. Anyway, EQ was the symbol, and we had actually closed yesterday just a small negative on EQ, but after the close, something happened in the aftermarket, and this thing at one point shot up to almost $20,000. So I'm looking and seeing, we could have an open this morning over $50,000 and hopefully take that in profits. So that was my expectation, overnight and even early this morning before stocks opened up. It looked to me like we could still see those kinds of profits this morning. Well, okay. Things really, they actually, right after the open, they looked reasonable. We're still a little over $30,000 on the open, but then just all hell broke loose, and everything that could possibly go wrong went wrong. And I'll give you the statistics first of all, and then talk a little about the details. That positive $30,000 went to negative 5,700 when we finally closed it out. So we saw a swing difference there of $36,000 from where we were on the close yesterday to where we actually closed out. And then we got into 10 new positions today, 5 positive, 5 negative, and we're negative $6,000 in terms of what we're carrying. And of course, what we're carrying could get a lot worse. I hope not, but they could. What we're carrying doesn't look good at all. So, yeah, we're looking at big losses today. And that stock EQ that I talked about, that was at one point nearly $20,000 in the aftermarket, eventually went to a loss, and I think we're still in it. But yeah, $20,000 positive goes to a loss, and everything else does pretty much the same. And we're holding negative 6,000 going into tomorrow with 10 positions. I'm going to show you three of the stocks that tell some of the story, but I just can't leave you with such pessimism, because we had one great stock, and part of the reason I'm showing you this is because without this, I mean, today would have just been a total bloodbath if it wasn't for this stock. I showed you this yesterday. This is CLSK, which is Clean Spark Incorporated, and we had bought this last Thursday. It closed pretty much where we bought it on Thursday. Friday had a big push up there. That kept us into the trade. And then yesterday, another big push, really big push this time. And that kept us into the trade going into today, which was the fourth day. The stock did open down, but then rebounded very nicely there for our exit. And we took $27,000 plus out of Clean Spark. $27,000. And we still had a terrible day. But just think how terrible it would have been if we hadn't had Clean Spark in our portfolio. So this one stock kept today from just being a total disaster. Clean Spark Incorporated, $27,000 trade. Fantastic. Okay, now I'll show you where all those profits with Clean Spark went. This is NVAX, which is NVAX Incorporated. And we had bought this yesterday, second hour up here, almost the high tick of the day. It didn't really look terrible by the close, but look here, it just collapsed here on the open. Can you imagine if we traded this opening range, we would have been sold way down here. As it was, we were sold here, but that's still a huge gap there. And that one cost us $9,500 in losses in NVAX Incorporated. This next one is even more terrifying, but I'd like to explain it a little more. This is something we almost never see. It's a day of entry stop. We don't day trade, but at the same time, people don't realize it. I have a stop on every single trade we get into on the day of entry. The reason we don't see this is those stops are so deep that even with a portfolio of 50 stocks, I trade all year trading a portfolio of 50 stocks every single day, and I may only see 2 or 3 of these day of entry stops. That's how deep this stop is, and it's deliberately deep because we don't want to be stopped out on day of entry almost ever. But I still have a stop in there as a disaster prevention. You know, if there's a nuclear war or something breaks out during the stock trading, we might end up getting day of entry stops on all our positions. I don't know. But here it happened. This stock I'm showing you is PGEN, which is Precision Incorporated. And we bought this morning, about 45 minutes into the day, almost got the high tick of the day, and within 30 minutes, and this is sometimes typical of a day of entry stop, within 30 minutes, it was way down here, and we were stopped out there with $11,900 in loss. Slam, bam, thank you, ma'am. Boy, I'll tell you, this was rough. Almost $12,000 there in precision, and it's over with in 30 minutes. Um, as I say, we only get 2 or 3 of these a year, but it can happen. And it's just one of those things that you got to live with. But it's really rare, so I don't worry about it too much. I wouldn't have, if I got even 2 of these a week, I probably wouldn't be able to trade. It's really rough. But it happened today, and this is what it looks like. So there's nothing that I discuss this day because it's something that can happen with trading, and the only thing to do is you get up off the floor, you wipe the blood off, and get ready for the fight tomorrow. And that's what I'm going to do. Trader Bob is signing off, and I will see you tomorrow on Wednesday.